Hey guys, what's up? Good evening and welcome to the official stream of the bootcamp release of DevOps in Communal Developer Network. And so let us wait for a few more minutes. Let's more other folks join in. And till the time, let me just give you an overview of the stream, right? So we came up with this idea of like we previously hosted about blockchain bootcamps as well as cybersecurity bootcamps, and recently we came across this idea of hosting one for DevOps. And the major reason is our community chapter program, which we recently launched, and it focuses on onboarding on universities to get training for certifications, which include CNCF and Red Hat certifications as well. And then again, pairing them for internship drives with different companies to which we have collaborated. They are our industry partners. So yep, that's the major motivation behind hosting this DevOps bootcamp. It will be a long bootcamp. It will straight for at least a month or more than a 1 month for sure. And we can expect to have 2 to 3 different streams every single week, or maybe alternative weeks as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin, right? And I hope you guys have already been with the agenda, right? The agenda is very simple. We'll discuss about the bootcamp. We'll discuss about why to learn DevOps. First of all, we'll discuss about my journey in DevOps. Okay, and we'll also understand the salaries and internship opportunities that are available in DevOps. And even if you are into tier 2 or tier 3 university, maybe, right? How can you crack some remote offers which are of high scale in terms of payments as well as the culture, right? So we'll discuss all of these pointers. So let's begin. First of all, well, I'll just jump onto the fact why and what is the importance of DevOps in today's industry, right? So initially, let me just give you an overview of it, right? Initially, we start off with a culture of industry where we have a different developers team and a different operations team. If you are a full stack developer or maybe a app developer, you are probably aware about it. There is a developer team which develops a product, and there is an operations team which deploys and maintains the product, right? And for a company, it's come sort of not cost effective to manage two different teams and workforce at the same point of time, which is more or less doing the same job or maybe interrelated job, right? And the communication error, right? It's a big question and a big constraint in the industry, which is a communication error that occurs between the developers team and the operations team. So, and which results in what? Which results in the dropout of people. Let's say you are a startup owner, you are building an application right now, and you don't want to have downtime, right? Of course not. And even if you are using the best of the best technologies, there's a high probability that you'll come across a scenario where, due to maybe your operations failure or maybe your developer feedback patch release, you will not be able to deliver the product at the right point of time to the right target audience of your users, right? And that's a drawback, and no company wants to have that. So how do we sort of overcome that, or how do we sort of balance that? Is through DevOps, right? And DevOps is a combination of developers and operations. So we manage a single platform to operate in this case, right? We have a single team which is core focused on developers development as well as operations. Now this is a team which bridges the gap between developers development and operations, to be frank. And currently in the industry, if I have to rank a particular role which is of very high skill, I would say two roles. Now, one of them is something that we've already covered in Commudle, which is Web3 and blockchain, right? In case you are in the infrastructure or ecosystem of blockchain, you already know, right? If you're in Twitter or you're in LinkedIn, right? You are probably aware about how big the industry is and how much people are earning out of the industry of blockchain. And the next one is DevOps, right? And I'm currently involved in DevOps. I work as a community engineer in Harness, which is our CI/CD platform. And to be very frank, the best part of being about DevOps is not necessarily only the finance that is involved. Of course, the pay structure is huge, and most of the work is remote. Of course, like if you see any big DevOps centric product, whether it be Circle CI, GitLab, Harness itself, right? All of them have a remote culture nowadays after COVID-19. Around 80% of the workforce works remotely, not in office, which is an added advantage. Apart from that, the work that you will do, right, in a regular basis is amazing, right? You'll sit with customers, you'll help the developers team to bring in features which are necessary from the customer's point of view, and you'll work with the next gen technology. And what else do you require as a fresher to get started with the career? And another pointer which is very useful is, when you start with DevOps, right, you already have an edge over rest of the people, because not many people are doing this. Like right now, I see a lot of people in the stream, in YouTube as well as in the community stage, and I'm not sure how many people of you would have been learning about DevOps, or how many people would have even known about DevOps, right? There's a very premium audience which focuses on DevOps because, of course, it involves a lot of technology and a lot of different branches of engineering of computer science. I'll cover the syllabus in some time, so you'll get an idea about what we will be covering in this bootcamp as well. But of course, overall, it's a very big infrastructure. It's a very big ecosystem, so it takes quite a bit of time for any fresher to get acquainted with it and learn along the process. And of course, there's another query that I want to address right now, which is why this DevOps Bootcamp, right? Why not something which is available in YouTube? Why not something which some certified sources are providing? First of all, for DevOps, there are very few resources which you can refer, which are like structured. You can find everything in YouTube, to be very honest, and that's what we say every time in Commudle, in everywhere I have spoken. I've already mentioned, right? You can find everything in YouTube, but structured content is not available in YouTube, right? There's a very very rare case or very rare scenario where you'll find some structured content, and even if that is a structured content in YouTube, the consistency in which the entire videos have been published or videos have been released, it varies from time to time, right? And so we are coming up with this, focusing on two parameters. One is consistency, and second one is preparation for certification. So of course, after the COVID-19 period era is over, right, and we have again come to on-site work right now, and everything has become offline. The chances of having something a certification, or the value of certification has honestly reduced, right? Even if, to be very frank, we don't even value our graduation certificate, do we? Right? It's just a online degree that we are receiving right now, because I think for computer science folks, the Google is our university. That's for everyone, right? And of course, in such a scenario, it's very difficult to find the right certification that can validate your skill, right? And in DevOps, it's very important to have certifications, because of course you will work with a lot of technologies, and to show your proficiency that yes, you're good in this technology, you need to show that yes, see, this is my certification, this is my digital credential that I hold. I have already certified as a XYZ, and that will verify you in front of your employer or your HR or your technical recruiter that yes, you are eligible for that role, right? So before beginning with DevOps, let me just share the syllabus of DevOps, right, that we will be covering here. um, Let me reshare my screen. Right. Cool. So this is the DevOps syllabus that we will be covering here. This site is hosted by Coda. Thanks to Coda for hosting this site. Right. It's a static content releasing platform, which is amazing. You guys can go and explore it. Right. Let me just put the syllabus link in the comment section as well. You can access it meanwhile I speak about it. Cool. Now, what are we covering, right? The first and foremost pointer in DevOps is networking, right? Without networking, you cannot begin with DevOps. And why networking, right? Of course, you hate the subject when you study in graduation, in undergraduation. Of course, networking is a part of our syllabus, but I'm not sure how many people like it, or you have a favorite subject as networking. Very few. But yes, we will be covering networking because it's a very important topic in DevOps. You need to know about the networking structure. You need to know about the OSI layers. You need about having a bit of information about code forwarding and everything. So we'll be covering networking at the first week. Meanwhile, when we go ahead, we'll be covering Linux operating system, right? And if you have Linux operating system installed in your system, great. If you don't have, we'll be sharing some how-to videos as well, where you can just get started with how to install Linux in your operating system. And we'll also share the different versions of Linux that are coming up, right? There's a famous operating system known as Alma Linux, right? How many of you are aware about it? Maybe you can just write in the comment section if you have read about Alma Linux. And we will all be also covering different infrastructures involving Linux. So that's going to be really amazing. The Linux part is really amazing. I personally like it. And there's a particular speaker who's coming from Red Hat to train you in terms of Linux. Again, command line tools, of course, I think this is something that you already know, but we'll be covering it in a DevOps perspective in terms of how a DevOps engineer, a DevOps practitioner, or a evangelist uses the command line tool. Also, the one of the most important pointers I received from in LinkedIn and everything. It's a very very basic query, which is um, how to configure your sort of systems, right? How to configure your CLI so that it looks like you are a developer. So I think that's a very genuine query. We'll help you out in that process as well to fasten up your process in terms of getting started with the CLI, right? And yep, that is something that we'll cover in this thing. And then we jump into real DevOps. So as soon as we move to Docker, you understand that yes, your journey as a DevOps engineer has started. Okay. And I started learning Docker when I was in my second year, right? Let me share my experience a bit in this case as well. So for me, I was in a tier 3 college. Okay, if you see my LinkedIn profile, you know my college name, which is very very rare. Nobody, it's not a great famous institute, of course not. But of course, I joined a tier 3 college, and the first year I did nothing. Okay. And I had zero experience and zero exposure to what industry was like. I was like, okay, I'll have a 9.5 CGPA, and get a decent package in some MNC, right? That was my mind at that point of time. But then COVID-19 happened, and I joined GDG Bhubaneswar in my first year itself. And I was seeing these folks doing great in cloud computing industry and DevOps. So that literally, took my attention, and I started learning more about DevOps. At that point of time, I did not have any resources to learn DevOps. I used to refer Coursera courses, to be very honest. I used to learn about GCP. Like, of course, to know DevOps, cloud computing is a very, very important pointer. So you have to be very much aware about the cloud technologies and everything. So I used to learn GCP and AWS and everything like that. But with the gradually, when I started learning Docker, right? I started learning Docker in probably in the year of 2020, when it was June, July. And initially it seemed to me like, damn, I cannot do this, right? This is too difficult for me to grasp, or maybe something that just jumps beyond my head, right? That was my perspective. And initially I could not understand the sort of the infrastructure that DevOps had at that point of time, which was, and Docker is an integral part of it. I did not understand what is the value of it for an application or for a product, and that's why I could not really relate to it a lot. But when I started exploring more, and I started learning Docker hands-on, right? At that point of time, my point of view towards technology changed, and to a point of view towards being part of the tech community changed. So no matter how good of a developer you are or I am, if I have even an amazing application, but if I don't use tools like Docker, and if I'm not aware about technologies like Kubernetes and everything, my application cannot scale, right? And there is no use of building an amazing application if I don't have a DevOps team. That is where I realized this particular pointer. And so we'll be covering Docker here, and this Docker part will be taken forward by again another Docker specialist from Red Hat itself. So we have been in touch with a lot of folks from CNCF ecosystem lately, and so of course the certification that we are trying to prepare you is for CNCF and Red Hat certifications. Of course, there will be a lot of speakers coming in from both the organizations. And then after learning Docker, we move to Kubernetes, which is again right now Google handles it, right? And if you have to just learn about Kubernetes community, just go to github.com and go for Kubernetes repository, and just see the number of people who are contributing to the repository, and just see the actual number of people, right? Of course, you have a GitHub repository, you see how many people have contributed, right? How much do you expect for an application or as a scale of Kubernetes to have? 200, 300, right? But no, it's around 3,000, 4,000 people contributing, and they are just folks like you and me. Anybody can contribute to Kubernetes. I've been contributing to Kubernetes since 2021 now, and I'm still contributing to Kubernetes. I'm a part of the next release team as well. And the community is really large, right? The community is really big. It's really active in Twitter, and it's really open for queries. Even if you have a very basic query like, I cannot run my Kubernetes cluster, how can I how can I do this, right? Just go and tweet it maybe, and anybody from the community will come to help you out. And this is very rare, to be honest. I don't find this in other technologies. Most of the time, the queries are attending Stack Overflow and everything, but no, you'll have real-time feedback. Of course, in Commudle channels of DevOps that we've already created, you can just hop into the description of YouTube and join the channel. And in the meantime, of course, you have Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter, I'll recommend because I'm active more in Twitter right now, and there are a lot many groups, lot many communities which are supporting queries from for Kubernetes and Docker. And then we learn something which is really trending in today's date, which is Golang. And Golang is a language which is it's the fastest language in today's date. If not the if not the fastest, one of the fastest. But as far as my experience has been, it has been the fastest. In case you are someone who's doing CP, right, you probably use C++ for your coding. Try using Golang once, and you'll see the difference. I saw the difference when I was participating in Hashcode. But it's a Google contest. I was also participating in Google Kickstart, and we were coding in C++ and Python, and our we were not able to optimize our solution, right? And someone suggested, can we use Golang? And we tried with Golang, and we saw the results. It was amazing, right? So yep, we'll be learning Golang, but of course we'll not cover Golang entirely here, because we will be covering only the Golang concepts which are required in DevOps. But again, Golang resources will be provided to you in terms of notes, in terms of other tutorials. And the best part is this is a community-driven bootcamp, right? It's a completely free of cost bootcamp. It's driven by Community Developer Network. And the best part here is you can get anything you want in case you are showing that enthusiasm and and that activeness, right? So if you are part of the Commudle channel, you need to be active there, right? Post your queries, ask, tag the mentors, and ask your queries. And in case you need some resources, ask Ayan Rakshit. He's the evangelist right now and Commudle Developer Network. Tag him and just put on your query, and he'll be able to address you. And that will easily help you out, because in case you need some course which is maybe paid, and maybe something like Udacity course, something like that, maybe we can help you in that case as well. But you need to reach out to us. You need to show why you need that, right? That answer should be there. So try to put on those factors as well. Again, we'll also be covering servers, right? Again, then we will jump into CI/CD. And when I say CI/CD, I am very much excited about it, because CI/CD is a camp. This track is I'll be teaching you guys, right? I'll be speaking on the in those keynotes, and we'll be covering a lot of different tools in CI/CD. We'll be covering GitLab, GitHub Actions, Harness CI, Circle CI, all of those, right? And we'll also try to understand something which is very important, right? As a DevOps engineer, so far my experience has been like this, right? When I see my client or when I see my customer, there's a very critical point which we find, which is there are only few tools or few technologies available in CI/CD which are of large scale. There are hundreds and thousands, probably, if not in every country you'll find CI/CD tool. Every next startup is a CI/CD tool, but not everyone has achieved that level of success like GitLab and Circle CI and Harness CI. So we will try to understand how to migrate pipelines among each other, right? So that if in case you are working in Circle CI and your client is in maybe XYZ company, how can they migrate their pipelines? This is a very important concept and a real-time concept that you can learn. And even if you are contributing as an open source or manager, maybe as a freelancer, this can help you a lot, right? So we'll be covering that. And then we'll learn more about infrastructure as code, right? We'll learn about monitoring and logging and service mesh, GitOps. We'll also learn how to work with cloud providers. As I mentioned, cloud computing is a concept which stays always in relevance with DevOps. So we'll try to understand how cloud providers work with the different DevOps infrastructures. And last, we will cover testing, right? And testing we will be covering at the last of the bootcamp, and then we'll jump into something which is pretty amazing. If you have heard about it, the topic, which is chaos engineering, right? It's the next step after testing, and there are a lot many different tools and communities which are active right now in chaos engineering in India as well. There's one of the famous is Litmus Chaos, in case you have heard about them. And you can go and research, right? Everything that I'm covering right now, go to LinkedIn, go to YouTube, read about these things, understand what they are, so that you can be having a prerequisite of before coming into these tracks, right? And then at the end, we'll be covering the cloud native tools, which will get you started, and you can be eligible. You can become eligible to contribute to any cloud native project. You can, if you are preparing for GSOC or something, you'll be amazed to know that one of two or three of these tracks will be covered by someone who has cracked GSOC, not once, twice. So that again another advantage, right? You get to interact with them in a regular basis. They'll be part of your channel as well. But the only expectation that we keep from you is the consistency, of course. And since this is a community-driven again program, and our community chapters are part of this, the community chapter members who will be participating in this bootcamp, they have an edge because they will be sitting in the drives of the internships, which are hosted for the community chapters separately, not one that community developer networks host. So again, every company that we have collaborated, they are somewhere or the other related to DevOps and cloud computing, also blockchain. So of course, if you know these technologies, it's always a win-win. So let's keep a track, right? Let's keep a target, and our target is to get at least 20 to 30 folks onboarded to different companies by the end of October or November mid, right? Because again, this is the fall internship drive that will go live now, and there are a lot many companies and lot many organizations, recruiting right now. They're planning the recruitment planner. Also, this is the virtual planner of syllabus, but while this is live, we will be hosting in-person meetups in different cities of the country. We'll be hosting in-person meetups in Bhubaneswar, in Chennai, in Mumbai, in Delhi, and in Bangalore. These are the five cities that are in our mind right now, and we'll be hosting these in-person meetups in the upcoming days. We'll be sharing insights on that as well. But in case you are somewhere around, in case you are around Orissa or West Bengal, feel free to come to Bhubaneswar in the Bhubaneswar in-person meetup. I'll be hosting that. We are planning meetups in Delhi, which will be taken forward by Arpanso himself. We also have in Mumbai, in Chennai, and in Bangalore. So like It's all packed. The entire track of DevOps with Commudle is already packed. So let's see how it goes, right? Cool. Now, this is a syllabus, right? Let's try to understand a bit about finances. Of course, as a DevOps engineer, and I don't like this thing, right? In last few days, I've been interacting with some community folks. These are the guys who are doing great, literally great in their field. But when I ask them about, what is your career objective or how much do you earn, they don't have a clear answer to it, right? And their answers are sometimes like, I don't mind if I get even this much. I'll work. I need experience. It's great. I'm not saying it's not great. It's amazing. But when you are into tech and when you are doing some work which is adding so much value to a company, you should expect something for yourself as well. And that's what my perception is, and that's what my team members' perception is as well. Like, let's say whenever I'm contributing to Commudal and any other company, right? I try to build my personal brand in the meantime, because, of course, the solutions may change, but the value that I add won't change, right? And so that finances is a very important factor. That's what I'm trying to say here. When you decide to go for a job or an internship, and just looking after what contribution you will make and how much ROI it holds for the company, make your choice and choose something which is really viable. So if I check the salaries, right? Let me share my screen once again. If I just try to see how much DevOps engineer or anyone in DevOps earn, right, in today's day. So this is the stats, right? We're using Arc, and you can find any salary, structure here. It's a global data and field which they cover, right? They give the global data as well as some countries related data. And in DevOps, you'll see that most of the companies are based in America or maybe some European country, right? And they'll offer you a remote job, and the salary that they'll offer is at the same scale that someone is earning in Europe. So you'd see the difference. That you staying in India earning 1 crore is huge, but that 1 crore may not be huge in Europe or in America, right? But here the 1 crore is a big number, right? So and you're doing it remotely. You don't have to pay for your expenses. You don't have to pay for your living, like your day-to-day operations. Nothing. You just do your work remotely from your workspace, maybe your home, and you want something which is amazing, right? And that's why I like to work remote, and the companies which are offering this. So if you see the stats, right, the average developer salary right now is around $85,759 US dollars, right? This is, and if you convert this number, you'll see how much it is in Indian currency, and you'll be amazed to just see the number, right? If you're a junior, you can expect it to go to 70. Let's say 70, right? Say 71, 67. That's even 70. But even then, right, if you just go to Google right now and search the number and convert it to, or maybe in somebody is very much interested in mathematics, right? Maybe you can just write down in the comment section, right, how much it adds in Indian currency. It's huge, right, as a fresher. And the best part is not the finances only as a fresher, but the career curve, right? As soon as you start your journey as a DevOps engineer or as a DevOps, any role in DevOps, right, you already had an edge over everyone else who was doing something like, maybe, I'm not again generalizing it. There are folks who are doing good in those fields, but again, let's say full stack developer at XYZ startup, you already took an edge over him, believe it or not, right? The next time you switch your job and you switch to something amazing, uh, the number of finances and the culture, the respect, also the value that you'll add is exponential in that case, right? So that's why people recommend right now to go into DevOps. And again, I'll again give a disclaimer here. Uh, this bootcamp is supposed to be followed by, like, officially, like, if you have registered for the bootcamp, we have received 200 plus registration for this bootcamp. And in case you are someone who's registered and you are taking this as a certification for you as well, for you, uh, this the stats are great, right? But to become a certified DevOps guy, the most important fact is if you actually like that role or if you actually like the technology. And I always say this: DevOps is not for everyone, right? It is something which requires a lot of. You already saw the syllabus, right? It covers a huge part. It covers a huge lot of things. So you need to be aware about everything that is happening in and around of the updated technology, and consistency is a very important factor. So again, DevOps is not for everyone. If 250 people have registered for this program right now, I can tell you, not 250 are going to land onto DevOps roles, and neither they are going to carry out as a career. Out of those 250, I'm expecting 100 or 115 people to actually do this in as a full time. So moving ahead, right? This is all around the world role, but let's say you cracked something in America, right? Let's see the difference. So you see the difference, right? The structure and then amount rises like next level, right? And if you see the difference in terms of the pay scale as well, right? If I just say average junior developer is around 91,751 US dollars, right? But if you see the biggest land on here is between 100 and 120, right? So most of the people who is earning or who is working in this job role is earning between this K. And if you see something less than 40K is negligible. And even if you go and search 40K US dollars in Google right now, you will see that, okay, this is something great for a fresher in India, right? So that's a difference. That's a catch here, right? So try for remote opportunities. That's what I'm trying to say here, and it's same for every other place as well. And Yep. So again, let me just compare another. Let me just have a very, very basic comparison, right? Let's go for all around the world data, right? It's DevOps. You see 71, 367. Let's go for a mobile app developer. You just see the difference, right? It's clear in front of you. Then if I go for Android, you'll see the difference, right? It's 58, the average salary, right? If I go for iOS, right, it's 69, and it's still less than what a DevOps a guy works. And something, let's go for something which is very trending, React, 59, right? And average is 72. As a junior, you want 59. Um, and in case you are someone who is working with cloud computing, yes, as I mentioned, right? As in the beginning of the session, told you, right? Blockchain, cloud computing, and DevOps. These are the domain which is where you should belong in today's date, because we all, if you see Google right now, if you see Microsoft right now, Microsoft Hyderabad office, they already have folks who are building the product, right? They already have the developers. What they need is a great guy in DevOps. What they need is a great guy in DevRel. Maybe what they need is a great guy in cloud to work with Azure, and that's where you see the hike, right? That's the demand of the market in today's day. So we need to focus on that, and you clearly will see a difference when you see cloud computing roles, you see DevOps role, and you see blockchain based roles, right? And this is going to be increasing in the same pace for the upcoming days as well. That's for sure, right? Cool. That was a comparison of the entire, you know, let's say this was a comparison of this entire salary structure. Let me share you the resources link, right? Once, where can you find all the resources for this about bootcamp, right? So let me share you the channel link where we will be hosting everything related to this bootcamp, and this is open for everyone, guys. In case you have someone who is interested, who is your friend, whom you want to help, this is the right place for you to help. Okay, just go to them, tell them about the camp, and update them about the syllabus and everything. You already have the link, right? And yeah, we are good to go. We are open for everyone. Anybody who loves to join. So let me share you the forum, right? Just a minute. Um, Until the time I'm live in both the streams, Commudle stage as well as in YouTube. In case you have any query, feel free to post it in. It can be related to DevOps Bootcamp. It can be related to DevOps technology. It can be related to anything in DevOps, right? Feel free to post it in, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Um, cool. So there you go. Let me paste this link here. Hello, Chinmay. What's up? I missed a message. So this is a channel link for all the updates that we will be putting in for DevOps Bootcamp. Feel free to join this one and share it to your friends and folks as well. We are happy to host anyone, as I mentioned. And again, this bootcamp will be in partnership with a lot of different companies, as I already mentioned. And so all certification will be again sponsored by all of them, and will be, again, I'm not releasing them right now because I'm not allowed to. Okay, I'll be releasing in the upcoming streams and in the channel, and we'll also be giving out vouchers. Okay, let me just share that as well. Let's cover that as well. Cncf Certifications, right? Cool. So if you just move to Cncf, right, that is Cloud Native Computing Foundation, right, you'll find a lot of certifications here. Let me share you the screen of Cncf certification. Okay, just a minute. So right now, CNC certifications are given by Code Cloud, if you're aware about them, right? Uh, Let me share you the details of the entire certification program. Yep. So this is what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen. So there are three certifications of CNCF. Okay. There's a query. Okay. So these are the three certifications that are CNCF provides. Okay. One is a CKAD, which is a fundamental. Okay. And it's a certification which is given by Cloud Native Foundation. It is in collaboration with Linux Foundation as well. It majorly certifies you as a Kubernetes expert. Okay. And this certification holds a lot of value, but this is a catch here, right? $395 for the online exam, and how many people in India will be paying it? It's a huge amount for someone in India, right? So of course it's not feasible for everyone, and the best part here is Commudle will be sponsoring 15 to 20 vouchers at the end of the camp, right? Top performers, that will be full scale, sponsored by Commudle. We have some other industry partners who will be sponsoring vouchers up till 10 each, and you can take the number of industry partners to be 15, which counts to be 150. Okay, so we already have 170 people covered out of 250. For the rest of the folks, we are still trying. Again, this is a community driven initiative. In case you want to help, the best you can do is share the insights, share the details with some folks in some reputed company, and if they want to sponsor, we are open. Okay. Now, we have already covered around 170 people, and it's already a big number for us, right? And so, for you guys, right, who is attending this stream right now in YouTube and communal stage, right, you can assume that if you are just carrying out this boot camp and you are consistent here, you'll be able to appear for the examination free of cost. And trust me, once you have the certification, you'll see people DMing you in LinkedIn with offers. They'll refer you directly. They won't have to go and mail anyone. When I cleared CKAD, I didn't have to do anything. I just applied for the exam. It was again sponsored, and everything was done by my company. And once I, was certified, right? I found my LinkedIn was spammed, right? I still this and it's still spamming. To be very honest, I can share you my LinkedIn and show you. There are more than 100 messages. I can't even go to message tabs right now, and there are so many referrals coming in, right? So my myth about referrals broke when I joined CNCF infrastructure and ecosystem, and right now, even when I'm working in harness every day, I get to know new things about the industry. And this myth of that okay, getting a referral is very difficult, or you need to do this, you need to do that. Nothing. You just need to be skilled. You just need to show your skills. You just need to be part of the open learning infrastructure where everything that you're doing right now, people need to know this, right? That's why LinkedIn account is important. That's why Twitter account is important. GitHub account is important, because this platforms, they showcase what you know, how much skilled you are, and everything, right? So you need to go and tell people that okay, I've been doing this, and also this is a part of this DevOps Bootcamp. So right now, when you are attending the stream, if I were you, I would just take a screenshot and go and post in LinkedIn that okay, I just joined this DevOps Bootcamp. In case you're interested, join and everything. What happens? People in your connections get to know that okay, you're learning DevOps, and they can see your daily status, right? They can see how much you are doing good, how much you are scaling up yourself as a DevOps practitioner and a DevOps learner, and they can reach out to you as soon as you become skilled as they require in their company, right? And they will eventually reach out to you. Sharing an insight which I shared in the last stream as well. There's one guy from our community. He was featured. He's a full stack developer, and he was featured in the pitch tank contest that Commudle hosts, right? And he shared his project. It's a very side project. It's a project which combines together different links of for your portfolio, and you can host a lot many things. It's a paid and freemium versions are also available, and he's a single guy developing that product. And as soon as I took him in the stream, I liked his product. Of course, the stream went great. And after the stream, Arpan himself reached out to me. He liked the product, and he was a core part of sort of promoting his product again in LinkedIn, in Commudle, and everywhere else. And that was also taken care of. And in 2 3 days, the guy was reached out by 2 3 investors, and they were asking him how much money he requires to fund his project. And he's a first year BCA student in a tier 2 college, right? And you understand, right? And he's a student of IT Bhubaneswar. He's it's an institute in Bhubaneswar. Um, And the guy was overwhelmed, and he reached out to me. He's like, I'm receiving these messages, what do I do right now? And I took him on a call, and I set him a call again with some folks to help him out in the process, to understand, is this the right time to take an investor money, is it the right time to scale the company, how to do that product, because it was a side project for him, right? Now what I'm trying to drive out from here is the amount of uh, possibilities and opportunities that community holds, right? So in case you're an active contributor, in case you are an active engaged person in the community, just believe in the fact that not today, not tomorrow, someday, in the very next days, uh, you will get some good opportunity for sure. And then it's your responsibility to give back to the community, right? Today, whatever I'm doing, I give every credit to community, right? If I was not in GDG Bhubaneswar or maybe some other communities, I would have been the same guy, right, who had very less knowledge and very less exposure. But communities and folks helped me. Now I'm trying to help them back. So it's a process. When you learn something from the community, try giving it back, right? So yeah, that's something we had to cover for this stream, right? In case you have any queries or anything, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me in my bio link, which is available in the YouTube description. Maybe I can paste it here as well. In case you want to connect to me, feel free to ping me up in LinkedIn. I respond to messages in LinkedIn, not in Twitter. I respond to tweets in Twitter. So that's a catch again. Let me just share you this. Cool. So feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. We can have a one-to-one connection call in case you want to help need some assistance in terms of your career or anything like that. Feel free. Okay. Don't just hold back with anything. And yep, the next stream will be updated in the channel for the DevOps Bootcamp. Good luck, everyone. And looking forward to have a successful bootcamp and see some of the folks certified as a CKAD and cracking some good opportunities, right? Thanks for joining in. I'll sign out from here, and looking forward to catch up with all in Commudle stage next time, right? And yep, thank you so much. Bye bye.